Oxandrolone, which is the drug name for Anavar, increases muscle mass by binding to androgen receptors and inhibiting the catabolic effects of glucocorticoids. These two primary mechanisms increase the net protein balance in the muscle, which leads to growth. Anavar is one of the strongest oral anabolics that you can take. The pumps are ridiculous, your growth is quick, and you put on keepable mass. Oh, the classic TRT conundrum. ED while on TRT. What the F happened? Guy goes, just went to have sex with a woman and my dick didn't get hard. Ooh, sorry, brother. I'm on like week 5 of 100 milligrams weekly. He's probably injecting a lot of this at once, along with HCG, doesn't specify the dose. Up until now, I was having incredible rock hard erections, but now it's subsided. Is it my E2? I'm 23 and had hypogonadism. Is it the E2? I don't know. What do you think? But what I want to talk about that and discuss like what that guy should do in this case, because this is the case for everybody, like on TRT. Like there's a certain point at which if the protocol isn't right, the sexual function's not going to work. You might be anabolic and feel great, but you've got to find the in-between. This comment here is a guy basically saying same thing with me. When the test gets super high, erections just don't work, but six-pack, lean, broad shoulders, feel incredible. Go down to the lower doses, sexual function works again, but then you feel like a mortal, a mortal again, where you're not like jacked and can go to the gym 7 days a week and crush it. Over the last year, I've been pretty surgical dialing people in these situations. It's kind of just require the lower doses, but aren't getting the anabolism to facilitate the anabolism. I want to talk about all of that too, because, we've got Anavar. So sit back, strap in, relax, and let's discuss some of the typical conundrums on how to super optimize a protocol, even in spite of them. All right, before we start the video, look, Cortex Labs, which is my company, is a TRT guidance, sexual dysfunction resolution, and performance optimization company. A couple major announcements, as you guys know, and those of you that haven't. Coaching is 50% off. This is the biggest discount we've ever run. This is one-on-one coaching with me. You got me in your corner to be communicating with you. Full protocol architecture for libido and erection resolution. Dialing in on TRT can be extremely hard, especially if you don't have the right guidance, if you don't know the right things. This is what I do and been doing it for years. We'll dial you in. The 1 month, the 3 month, the 6 month, the 1 year, 50% off, thousands of dollars you're going to save. Now's the time to do it because these are booking quickly. Use the code COACHDISCOUNT, book me. We'll be on the fact finding call, me and you, as soon as tomorrow. livecortex.com or down the description of this video. Source list is 30% off. Get everything you can possibly think of anabolic-wise, including high-potency DHT, which a lot of people need. Code is source30. It's on the screen and down the description of this video. Mastering Testosterone Cypionate. If you want to dial in libido and erections on Cypionate, get this video course down below. I want to start, just as a primer, let's talk about this thread. Libido and erections. What total T and E2 levels give you the best sexual function? This is a problem, right? Because this guy goes, I've been trying to dial in my levels for years. It should not take you years. But for a lot of people, it actually does take years because they just don't have the right information. What I've been saying about, get estradiol in your sweet spot, add a little DHT, I just don't understand. But nobody's saying that. But this is all I see in coaching. His doc has the right idea. Doc at Defy says E2 should be between 25 and 35. This is one of the reasons I like Defy Medical as a clinic, because largely they do understand. If you can get Michael as your provider, get Michael. He's an awesome guy. Southern guy, smart dude. Here's an anecdotal. November 22nd, or 22, I was taking 150 milligrams a week. Total T was 950. Pretty great. E2 at 23. Hey, I don't really know how that was the case, but hey, maybe just super under aromatized. That's awesome. Libido was good. February 23, I increased the dose to 200 milligrams a week. Total test 1300, E2 at 62. And low libido. Started taking anastrozole 0.25 milligrams every 3 days. Libido is increasing. Probably he'll get that back. Might take a little time to dial in anastrozole. It's a tricky drug to dial in. Sometimes that takes time. Here's another one. Just a strategy for folks. I try to keep my E2 near my SHBG, which is low 20s. There's always an estrogen threshold after which you're going to lose erection. That's in the clinical literature. I mean, their cutoff for guys with regular T is 32 picograms per milliliter. You go above that, you have a statistically higher percentage chance of having erectile problems. Now, of course, you don't want to go on the low end either. Look at this guy. My total T 800, E2 is 8. I don't think I'd feel very good at 8. There's another one. Can high E2 lead to a lack of libido and a soft erection? So, I mean, already the pretense is a guy that's got estradiol over range and is having a lack of libido and soft erections, right? And he's on 250 milligrams of Sustanon twice a week. Like, yes, definitely. That's a high dose of test. Was taking an AI, though, okay? Stopped the AI, probably because he got some bad advice to, that you don't need to manage estrogen, which is absolutely ridiculous. And erections and libido went away. I would wake up to a bone and get hard just the thought of anything sexual. Yeah, well, of course, because, he had super high test and he had estrogen that was being controlled. That's the recipe, because you got the DHT and then estrogen's in the Goldilocks zone. I mean, I don't, this is not rocket science, boys. But what I really want to talk about is this right here. ED while on TRT. What the F happened? So I just went to have sex with a woman and my dick didn't work, didn't get hard. I'm on week 5 of 100 milligrams weekly, not a high dose, along with HCG. Doesn't specify, probably 250 every other day or maybe 500 every other day. Again, that's usually not a good idea, 500 at least, unless you're controlling E2. Up until now, I was having incredible rock hard erections, but now it's subsided. Is it my E2? It's definitely the estradiol. And this is case in point. You started 100 milligrams weekly. He's probably running this once a week. He's got the HCG. We would guess 250 every other day or 500 every 3.5 days, something like this. It's a bolus if it's 500 of HCG at once. It stimulates intertesticular estradiol. And that estrogen, the serum estrogen, the tissue estrogen, just kind of keeps slowly building. Week 5 isn't even the full time for a long ester to fully saturate, like to be at your steady state. So he reached that now. What this guy would do in order to solve this problem is just take that dose down to like 90. Just try taking it down to 90. Same weekly injection, same dose of HCG, just take the aromatizable androgen down to 90, and I bet things would balance out. Point within a point, this guy's pretty close to the window. The window's very narrow. When you have good libido and erections, go and run blood, see where your estradiol total T is. You know that's where you need to be. Don't deviate massively from there because you're fucking close. But the comment of the day, right? The major point of this video. Unfortunately, I've struggled with this since about 3 months on TRT. When my levels peaked at 1,300 to 1,600, my strength is through the roof. I've got a six-pack, broad shoulders, I'm vascular, but my dick won't stay hard longer than 5 minutes, even on 100 milligrams of Viagra. When I finally got fed up and get the dose lowered, dick strength comes back, gym strength goes away, and I start looking like a regular mortal. Then he goes, I've tried using an AI, but even when the doctor says I'm within a normal range of estradiol, my test is high, my dick doesn't work right. It's been a roller coaster for years. I'm writing this 10 minutes after disappointing an extremely attractive woman. I'm about ready to throw in the towel. What do you do in this situation? So here's a great example of somebody who does well physically and in terms of anabolism on higher doses of testosterone. That's going to be most of us, but has erection issues. Try to take an AI, get estrogen right around the range. I guarantee it wasn't 25, 35. It was probably 45, and doc went, oh, it's okay, because LabCorp is like 42 picograms per milliliter is the top of their range. But I think you should go by the Quest one, which is 29 picograms per milliliter. But let's just couch it as he can't dial in on an AI. But when he goes down to the lower doses, erection strength, sexual function, it all comes back because estrogen falls in a reasonable place and he has enough DHT. And again, that's the recipe along with functional testicles to keep you good on TRT. But down at those levels, you're not necessarily that anabolic. And boys, this is why we have Anavar. Let's break this down. Oxandrolone, which is the drug name for Anavar, increases muscle mass by binding to androgen receptors and inhibiting the catabolic effects of glucocorticoids. These two primary mechanisms increase the net protein balance in the muscle, which leads to growth. Anavar is one of the strongest oral anabolics that you can take. The pumps are ridiculous, your growth is quick, and you put on keepable mass, real tissue that you build on your body from lifting weights and using Anavar. Obviously, it binds to the androgen receptors located in the cytoplasm of muscle cells, so that's one of the things that it does pretty significantly. Increases creatine phosphate synthesis, I believe, which is an anabolic in and of itself. But the binding, the increased protein synthesis, which is substantial, like over testosterone, promotes the transcription of genes whose proteins are necessary for muscle growth, repair, and metabolism. This is pretty crazy. A study in young men showed that this process increased messenger RNA concentration of the androgen receptor in skeletal muscle. So, you're talking about upregulating AR function in the muscles. Anavar is crazy potent. You also, via blocking of the glucocorticoid signaling, prevent the breakdown of muscle tissue. You're essentially shutting off catabolism when you take Anavar, but also heavily binding and optimizing the ARs to grow lean tissue. If you want to hack physiology to be not catabolic, but for you to be substantially anabolic, so specifically not catabolic, because you're kind of shutting off catabolism, the wasting of muscles, and you're fostering anabolism, take Anavar. But this is how this relates, circling back to this whole issue with E2 and needing to be on lower doses for erections to work. Okay, if you can't tolerate things that block estrogen, Aromacin, Arimidex, Letrozole, God forbid, DHT derivatives, Masteron, Primobolan, Proviron to a minor extent. We've tried every dose, no matter what. Some people, no matter what the dose of an AI, they get side effects. They get joint pain, they get depressed, they start having weird cognitive symptoms, and their libido isn't right there either. Then you must find the dose of testosterone that lands you in the 25 to 35 range in estradiol sensitive. And then you determine, once you're there, where you're at, okay, am I anabolic enough? Am I happy with that? Do I have energy pretty much all day? Or is the anabolism kind of abysmal and I need to do something about that? Erections work great. You get down in those ranges, that's the sweet spot for sexual function. It's always E2, 20 to 35, somewhere in that range. A few guys can push 40 or so. You have outliers that can push 50, 55. Usually nobody goes above that, and most people do terrible above 35 in estradiol. You have enough DHT, just enough probably at those lower doses, right? For erections are hard, you get nocturnals and all that, you're horny, sensation's good. The sexual side is good, but you're just not anabolic enough. This is where, and I've experimented with this, I've proven this, both with clients, but with myself, 5 to 10 milligrams of Anavar a day, boys. 8-week cycle. 5 to 10 milligrams of Anavar a day. 8-week cycle. Gonna make you anabolic enough. Gonna add that extra strength for you to go to the gym and crush it. Your pumps will be insane almost immediately. You will notice it. You run that for 8 weeks. You're facilitating, again, the blocking of catabolism and the enhancement of anabolism. You're going to put on lean tissue, especially if you're working hard enough, which with the Anavar and the extra strength that it gives you, it's going to want to make you work hard enough. So let's take a look at what protocols that make sense in this context, what those protocols look like. Let's just run through 3 of them. This comes from client data because I've employed this strategy many times. Some people go down to lower doses, they're not happy with the anabolism. They're fine, but they're not happy with it. All right, so first protocol is 105 milligrams a week of testosterone cypionate. That's daily injections of the upper glute, 5/8 inch needle. 200 IU HCG every day, 20 milligrams DHEA every day. Landed a guy in a spot where sexual function was stellar. Everything worked there, but it just, 4 days at the gym, max. The guy was kind of tired, didn't seem like he was growing, was unhappy with that. All we did was get him on 10 milligrams of Anavar a day. We ran 2 different cycles of 8 weeks at a time. So I had to work with this guy for 6 months with a 1-month break in between from the Anavar. And that dude grew. That dude's physique is, he's not bodybuilder status, but he's happy with it, strong at the gym, looks great, looks vascular, looks lean, and built some real tissue. Importantly, though, the sexual function works. Another one similar to the protocol that I'm on, the hybrid that is one of the best protocols I've ever actually been on in the years that I've been running androgens. This is 119 milligrams of test a week. Again, daily injections, upper glute, 5/8 inch needle, 100 IU of HCG every day, 20 milligrams DHEA every day, and then a half a pump of 100 milligram per milliliter transscrotal cream. Again, I'm super hot on this because it actually just works if you get the right doses. Gives you the DHT, antagonizes some estradiol, doesn't jack up the estrogen, gives you a little more anabolism. In that case, he had those factors sort of working for him. 5 milligrams a day of Anavar, 5 milligrams a day. I've seen that be enough for people. You're going to notice that shit even at lower doses, especially if you've got pharmaceutical grade Anavar. You're going to notice you will gain muscle tissue. Now, is it as fast as 10 milligrams of Anavar, 15, 25 milligrams Anavar a day? Obviously 50 milligrams Anavar a day? Well, obviously not. Right? But you run cardiac risk, at least negative lipid modifying risks, and a host of other things. You can actually have physical side effects, tachycardia, fatigue, all sorts of things when you take a lot of Anavar. But 5 milligrams a day, for all intents and purposes, it's as close to a safe bet that you can get running oxandrolone. And you're gonna, slowly but surely, you're gonna put on the lean muscle tissue. Now, not a lot of people can go below 90 milligrams a week and actually feel good on tests, but I've got one. I've got a couple over the years, but this guy, 84 milligrams a week of testosterone cypionate injected every day, upper glute, 200 IU HCG every day, 20 milligrams DHEA every day, 10 milligrams Anavar every day. Again, 8-week cycles, a month off, another 8-week cycle, a month off. You can kind of run that indefinitely as long as you're monitoring lipids and your health is good. This guy needed to be at 84 milligrams, which just, that's just the number where estradiol got to the range where sexual function was fucking phenomenal. He was able to tolerate, like he felt fine energy-wise, which I wouldn't at 84 milligrams, which is a little too low. My test would be like 550, 600. It's just a little too low for me. But this guy felt great. Just was not anabolic. Like, I mean, what are you going to do with that much? You're basically a natty at that point. But since those numbers allowed estradiol to be in range and sexual function be good, okay, you're lacking the anabolism, 10 milligrams Anavar a day, fucking cured the problem. Guy goes to the gym, crushes it, growing lean tissue, showing me physique pictures, literally growing. It's totally phenomenal. So boys, like, you know, when it comes down to this conundrum of, okay, you're on the higher doses, you're super jacked, you feel good, you look good, you're super stoic and masculine, but your dick doesn't work. Like, what's the point in having super ultra confidence and looking like an absolute stallion, but you have erectile dysfunction? What's the point in that? I mean, if you're running cycles, cool, do it. And you're not dating, who gives a shit? Then you date later, you know what I mean, when everything's back down, but you've put on some lean muscle tissue. Totally worth it. But in this conundrum where you can't take AIs with the high doses, you got to go down to lower doses, you got to find the estrogen sweet spot, but you're not anabolic, boys, just take a non-aromatizable androgen and don't make it be fucking nandrolone, because that can cause dick problems too if you're displacing DHT at the receptor with dihydronandrolone, which you don't want. Upregulating PRL gene expression, prolactin gene expression in one study. I mean, it's just not something I would ever run the risk. Some people get away with it. Not everybody, though. Get a non-aromatizable androgen when you're having to lower dose to keep estrogen in range for sexual function. Use Anavar. I mean, it's probably the best one. It's honestly one of the best ones. 5 to 10 milligrams a day. 8-week cycle, 1 month off, another 8-week cycle, 1 month off. Monitor HDL, monitor LDL, monitor apolipoprotein B the entire time. Make decisions from there. But I promise you, if you're one of those people that has to go down in doses for sexual function, bringing the Anavar in even at low doses, you're going to notice it. Then you're dialed in. You have your cake and eat it too. You got the sexual function, but you also got the anabolism. And you got the added super cool effect of being able to take oxandrolone. It's a fucking awesome compound, boys. And that's all I'll say. All right, boys, as I said in the beginning, regarding coaching, this is the biggest discount we have ever run as a company. You are saving thousands of dollars on every one of the coaching programs. The one-on-one coaching programs are designed for people that have been having a difficult time dialing in libido and erections on TRT. I'll help people that are on cycle too, because I've been there and I work with people that are on cycle trying to dial in sexual function. Estrogen's always going to go super high. But predominantly, whatever ester you're on, even if you tried a lot of esters and you can't quite figure out the TRT puzzle because it could be a dance sometimes, this is what I do and I've done it for 7 years. Whatever your case is too, I've seen it. We'll get the libido and erections back. Just hire me. Folks with PFS, I mean, this is a long-standing sexual dysfunction induced by hair loss drugs. Me and Alex Kickle and a few other people are the only people that are working with dudes getting results. We'll get your libido and erections back. It's not that difficult. You just have to know what to do. You can hire me for any one-on-one package for TRT, sexual dysfunction on TRT and under MinuteLiveCortex.com. Code Coach Discount saves you thousands of dollars right now. And this discount is going away. They're booking fast. There are less slots than what's on the screen because I'm getting 2 bookings a day on this. If you've been thinking about booking me for coaching, boys, now's the time. You do that. We're on the fact-finding call as soon as that day or the next day. But either way, me and you, fucking Geronimo, brother. Let's get it done. Source list, again, any anabolic you can think of, including high-potency DHT gel, 20%. You can't get this anywhere else. 30% off down the description of this video. If you're trying to dial in on cypionates and you're having a hard time, especially around libido and erections, I created an entire hour and 5-minute video course on how to do that. You can get that down below as well. All right, it's been epic hanging out with you guys because in the videos, and thanks for watching it. Like the video because YouTube and the... Hold on. Wrong with his chair? God damn it. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, hope you're having a great day. Like the video because YouTube's algorithm, it really... Fucking mic, dude. My brain's just not on. I didn't sleep well last night. Let me grab the mic real quick. Give me this! God. We're done here. Been a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Hope you're having a great week. Much more content coming soon. Tomorrow I've got to take a trip west end of Pennsylvania, so I won't be able to do content, but back Thursday, back Friday, live stream Saturday. Look forward to that. Like the video. Makes a huge difference. As I said, we really need the likes, boys. Please hit the like button. Otherwise, sub to the channel. Much more content coming soon, and lots of content already about TRT biohacking, especially around libido and erections. I'd love to have you on board. Kick ass, boys. Rock on. And I'll talk to you on the next one.